Hi guys, welcome to Nature at Home. I'm Zoe and today we're going to be talking about the reptiles we have here at the Nature Center. So reptile is any animal that has dry scaly skin and lays soft-shelled eggs on land. Now there are 4 orders of reptiles. There is Crocodilia, which are your alligators and crocodiles. There's Cynodentia, which is your tuataras. Squamata, which is your lizards and snakes. And the Testudines, which is your turtles and tortoises. So today we're going to be focusing on the Testudines, more specifically turtles. Now turtles go back over 200 million years ago, making them one of the oldest groups of animals on the planet. And there are over 300 species of turtles alive today, most of which are endangered or soon to be endangered. Turtles can be found on every continent except Antarctica. They don't really like it being that cold. Now, New York State does have 11 species of freshwater and land turtles. So our turtles do pretty well up here. The turtles in New York State have adapted really well to be able to survive in our cold climates and to be able to survive winter. In fact, Blanding's turtles, like Jedi here, have been seen swimming under the ice in the Great Lakes region. So they do really well up here. Now, something really cool that some turtles can do is they can actually take in oxygen through their skin, which allows them to stay underwater for longer periods of time. That'd be like if you were having a contest with your friends to see who could hold their breath underwater the longest, but you were secretly sucking in oxygen through your skin, so you won every time. That's what it's like for some turtles, which is how a lot of our turtles up here are able to brumate or hibernate in the winter under the ice, because they can take in oxygen through their skin. Out of the 11 freshwater and land turtles that we have in New York State, the Nature Center has 7 of those turtles resident here. We have our Blanding's turtle Jedi, who you just met, our wood turtle Leonard, who you would have met in a previous video, along with Donut, our common snapping turtle. We also have a couple of painted turtles, Thing 1 and Thing 2. We have a spotted turtle named Stripes. We have a map turtle named Geo, and we have a musk turtle named Stinky. Now let's talk about the obvious thing you'd think of when it comes to a turtle. Their shells. So they get their order name, Testudines, from the Latin word testa, which means shell. So turtles are characterized by this big bony structure that they carry around on their back. Now these shells are in fact bone. A lot of people think that turtles can just leave their shells kind of like a hermit crab can and go and find a new one. Now they cannot do that because this shell is a part of their skeleton. So if we look at our little skeleton friend here, you can see that that shell is connected right to their rib cage. So this whole shell is bone. Now this shell is covered in another layer of what we call keratin, which is what your fingernails are made of. That's what gives these shells their various colors. So it's not just white bone, it gives it another protective layer. Now there's a couple cool things about these shells, besides the fact that they protect the turtle from predators. The shell itself actually has some cool facts. So the top and the bottom part of the shell actually have their own names. So the top part of the shell that you see up here is called the carapace. I always remember this because carapace starts with a C, and if you take the C and turn it over, it looks like the top of a turtle shell. Now the bottom of the shell is called the plastron. And then each of these little individual sections on the shell are called scutes. So it's kind of like how you look at a snake and you see all those little scales. The turtle has all these sections of its shell. Instead of scales, we call them scutes. Now because a turtle can't leave its shell, that means as the turtle grows, the shell has to too. So just like how snakes and lizards and other reptiles shed their skin, so do turtles. Makes them no different from other reptiles. So sometimes you'll see that a turtle shell looks flaky and it's peeling. That's just the shell shedding. So each of these scutes sheds its section and grows with a turtle. Now one more really cool thing about these shells is every single turtle, doesn't matter what species it is, if you look at this top part of the carapace right here, there are going to be 13 scutes exact for every turtle. So we're going to go ahead and test that out. So looking at this turtle shell right here, we're going to go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And now to compare, I have our big snapping turtle shell right here, and we're going to count the snapping turtle shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And now, just for fun, I'm going to go get Boxy and we're going to count his shell. So I have Boxy, our three-toed box turtle, and we're going to go ahead and count his shell too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it doesn't matter what kind of turtle it is, all of them have 13 scutes on the carapace or upper carapace part of their shell. Now I wanted to pull out Boxy while we talk about shells because box turtles do something super unique with their shells. Now Boxy here I didn't mention earlier when I was talking about what turtles we have here that are part of New York State's native species. Because Boxy, being a three-toed box turtle, is actually from the southern states. So he's the only turtle that we have here that isn't a native resident to the state. However, all box turtles do this really cool thing. So if we look underneath Boxy on his plastron, he has this line right here. And this line is actually a hinge. So he can take this whole upper part of his plastron and close it like a trap door. So when he pulls his head and his legs inside his shell to protect himself, this whole part of his shell actually closes to protect his head, so you can't even see him. So that's something really cool that these guys can do. So another distinguishing feature of a turtle is their feet. So most turtles live in water or spend a majority of time in water. So in order to be able to do this well, they need webbed feet, kind of like a duck. So Geo here, our map turtle, has really webbed feet. I would argue that he's the fastest turtle that we have here at the Nature Center when it comes to swimming. So if we look at Geo's feet, you'll see that they are extremely webbed. He's got really good feet for swimming. So now I have here our tiniest turtle resident at the Nature Center. This is Stripes the spotted turtle. Now he is a little shy because he is so tiny, so he might not poke his head out too much today. So I pulled out Stripes today because we're going to be talking about turtle eggs now. So all turtles come on land to lay their eggs. And this usually happens around late spring to early summer, so around May to July is usually when you'll see turtles coming out to lay their eggs. Now these eggs need about 2 months to incubate to be ready to hatch. Now the reason I pulled out Stripes today is because something happens for some turtles when it comes to their incubation period, including spotted turtles. It happens for them. And so what happens is during this incubation period, when the eggs are waiting to hatch, sometimes the weather determines whether the eggs are going to hatch and be a male or be female. So the gender of the turtle is dependent on the weather. If the weather is really warm while the eggs are waiting to hatch, the turtles are more likely to be females. If the eggs are incubating when it's really cold outside, the turtles are more likely to be males. So this happens for several species of turtles, but the spotted turtles are one that it does in fact happen for. So warm weather equals female turtles, and cold weather equals male turtles. So now we're going to end this video talking about their diet. What do turtles eat? So all turtles are omnivores, meaning they eat meat and they also eat plants. So a lot of turtles would prefer their meat over their plants, but they do eat both out in the wild. So this can be bugs, fish. Some turtles, like snapping turtles, will eat any kind of small animal that they can catch. And then when it comes to their plants, they usually like the aquatic plants that they will find wherever they're living, in the swamp, in the river, in the stream. Whatever plants are growing nearby are usually good enough for them. Now a lot of people ask me how turtles chew their food or how they eat their food. Turtles don't actually chew their food. They don't have any teeth inside their mouth. What they do have is a beak, much like a bird's. So their mouth is nice and sharp on the top and on the bottom, so they can bite and tear things apart, they can rip things apart, or when they're eating their vegetation, their plants, they can rip it into little bite-sized pieces. So their mouth is very sharp, and it's all they need to be able to tear food apart. Now aquatic turtles need the water to help them swallow. They use that water to help bring the food into their mouth and down their throat because they don't have any teeth to really do it, and there's not much in the way of saliva. So that's why they need that water. Terrestrial terrestrial turtles or semi-aquatic turtles like the wood turtle and the box turtle, they can eat on land no problem. So that's all our facts about turtles. I hope you guys had fun and you learned something new today, and I hope you enjoyed getting to meet some of our turtles here at the Nature Center. Thank you for tuning in to our Nature at Home video today, and a special thank you to the New York State Power Authority for funding the Nature Center and all of our programs. Make sure to tune in at 1 tomorrow for another fun video, and be sure to check out our daily links and downloads on Facebook. See you tomorrow!